Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to create a card with the Photoplay Say It With Stamps Best Mom Ever stamp set. With Mom's Day around the corner, I thought we'd make a Mother's Day card. And this stamp is perfect for that. It's a larger stamp set. It's a 6x8. And I love the florals in here. There's a little bit of everything. You get single flowers. You get the little bouquet, which is just lovely. You get a heart. There's a bow. And then there's this like a single flower. You can even call it a rose if you'd like to. And then there's this envelope too, which is lovely because all of the sentiments will fit perfectly in that little note card sticking out of the envelope. So this is what we're going to use today, along with the coordinating dies. I already have them behind my package, but the die option's available in case you guys are interested. We're going to start off by doing a little bit of stamping. So I'm going to take out my stamp and we are going to bring in our stamping positioner. And I'm just doing a little bit of coloring with my alcohol markers. So let's go ahead and tack this down. This is alcohol marker friendly cardstock. And I love this little bouquet. And we are going to add that to our panel. And I'm also going to stamp the bow, the heart, and I'll probably stamp the heart a few times here. So let's pick this up with our stamping positioner. I'm going to use an alcohol marker friendly black ink to ink up my beautiful images. And I tell you, I just love this bouquet because there's little swirlies at the ends that just make it look so dainty. Isn't that so gorgeous? Now, while I have my ink out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this heart a few more times. And then I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to play a little bit of music while I color, and then when I'm done coloring, I will get you back. Coloring is all done. Now before I go to die cutting, I do want to let you guys know that this particular stamp set, the Best Mom Ever, does have a coordinating stencil. So if you wanted to color in your flowers and your leaves and your bow even with the stencil and using your inks, there's an option that goes with the stamp set also. So if you want, I'll leave the stencil link down below if you want to check that out. Let's take the coordinating dies and die cut out our images. I like that you can even die cut out the heart. I'm going to go ahead and tape these down and run these through my die cutting machine. Okay, I have everything die cut, and now we are going to work on our background. For our background, we're going to be doing a few different things because this is Mother's Day and we need to make it extra special. Okay, we are going to do a little bit of stenciling, and we're going to first create a panel using the Nested Elegant die set. This is such a pretty die set. And if you can't tell, we're going to be making a slimline card today. I don't think I mentioned that. But we're going to take the second largest Nested Elegant die and die cut this out with white cardstock. So there is our panel. There is stitch detail, which I love. And then we're using the Say It With Stamps Stripes 3-piece stencil set. This is a nice set because there's vertical stripes, horizontal, and then there's diagonal stripes also. We're going to use the diagonal stripes today. And I'm going to add that to my panel. And I better bring in my craft mat because we are going to be using some glitter paste. I want some sparkle in our background, but I wanted it to be real subtle, and glitter paste just seems to do the job. Let's go ahead and add our striped stencil, and then I'm going to be using some glitter paste, and then I'm going to grab my palette knife, and this looks white, but it's not. It's like an iridescent, so it's going to go on. It's going to create basically a tone-on-tone look in my background. But when it dries, it's going to have that nice iridescent glitter to it. And I think we are good. I'm going to go ahead and carefully lift up my stencil. And then I'll lift up my panel. And you can see when you lift it up, you have some rough edges. I'm just going to use my hands and fingers and just smooth out those rough edges. We want it nice and smooth when it dries. And this will dry fairly quickly. And it's going to give me glitter and texture. And I'll set that aside to dry and wash up. While my panel's drying, we are going to use the same Nested Elegant die set and create a frame with this. So I'm going to take the two inside, which I kept together when I was taking these apart, and I'm going to be using some dark teal cardstock to die cut out a frame with this. I have some lighter color cardstock here, and then we are going to create a background with this beautiful cover plate. This has pierced detail, and I'm going to die cut this out for my background. Okay, my pierced background is die cut, and this will cover my slimline card base beautifully. And then I have my frame. I'm going to flip over my frame, and I'm going to add some foam tape behind here for a little bit of dimension. So we have some foam tape behind our frame, and that's going to give us the dimension. Now we need to stamp our sentiment. So I have some white cardstock. We're going to bring back our stamp here, and I'm going to use the sentiment says, "Thanks to you, I turned out awesome," which I think is playful and fun. And I'm also going to use "You're my favorite mom." And I'll put that over there. I'm just going to use my black ink to stamp my sentiment. Lovely. Okay, and then we'll stamp, I think I want to stamp this on a fishtail banner, so we'll wait for this. To die cut this out, I'm using this tag die in the Say It With Stamps rectangle window die set. I love that all these dies are interchangeable and perfect for sentiments. And I'll tape this down and we'll die cut out our sentiment. Just punch out that hole. And then we have a nice little tag for our sentiment. Now for this sentiment, I want to create some fishtail banners. And so I'm bringing in another window set. This is the Say It With Stamps Build a Window. And there's a skinny fishtail banner in here. I'm going to use that. And I'm going to die cut this out with some colored cardstock. And I'm going to use yellow cardstock and orange and die cut out some small banners. My banners are die cut out and I'm going to use the orange one. Should I use the orange or the yellow? Let's use the yellow. We'll use the yellow one to stamp our sentiment, and I'm going to use that same black ink, and I'm going to make sure that the sentiment starts more towards the left because this is going to go tucked under my bouquet. Okay, so I have my second sentiment stamped, one extra banner. Now I think we have all of our elements to build our card, so we are going to take our card base. I'm going to be using the number 9 blank cards from Say It With Stamps. I love that they have card bases that are already pre-scored for you. And these measure 3 5/8 inch wide by 5 5/8 of an inch long. So since they're pre-scored, you just fold them in half. It's nice heavy-duty cardstock. I want to use my bone folder and reinforce that score line. And the nice thing about these card bases is there is envelopes for them, which makes it really nice. And these are a great price too. I'm going to start by taking my pierced background. We're going to flip this around, and I'm going to use my tape runner, and we're going to adhere this to our card base. Once we have our background adhered, I did go ahead and put foam adhesive behind our stenciled background, or our background that we added some glitter to. I'm just going to remove the release paper. And then we're going to adhere this in the center of our card base. Once this is adhered, we'll take our frame and then we'll add this also. So we have a little bit of dimension, but not too much bulk, you see here. And a lot of texture. Now we get to add our beautiful florals. I'm going to use some foam squares for this, so we'll just add a couple behind our flowers. I may not use our little tags that we created that says "You're my favorite mom." I think we may just go for this tag here. We'll see. Okay, and then I popped up each one of my little hearts, and I think that looks cute. I think I'm gonna put this on the inside, and I have a couple of hearts left over. So let's open up our card. I'm going to add adhesive behind our banners. And we're going to add this to the inside of our card. Add a little adhesive behind our little hearts, our extra 2 hearts. And we'll put those on the inside. Last but not least, I'm going to use a sparkle pen. And I'm going to go around the darker areas of my flower. And also over our hearts. It's going to give a little glitter. And then our bow, of course. Last but not least, we're going to add some clear glaze over all of our hearts. Now what this is going to do is it's going to dry crystal clear, and it's going to seal in that glitter from our sparkle pen. And then that finishes my card today. I hope you enjoyed my project. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a fabulous day, and we will see you